All right, so we are live, people. This week you've got BJ and myself. This is your weekly Syndi-Comics stream. Um, Definitely wanted to go over some stuff tonight. So, first of all, I actually want to go over something bad this week. um, so, BJ, you probably remember somebody had posted a picture or a link about the new Ironheart series coming out. With Trini going to be it. So, with that being said, there was a lot of consternation on the Syndi-Comics page for that. A lot of people that didn't like it thought it was kiddish and whatnot. Um, it don't matter. It really don't matter what your personal opinion is about the book. Um, Keep those to yourselves. You know, because just because you might not like a book doesn't mean that somebody else might not. Like for me, I actually like Ironheart. I like her as a character, and I like her as what she's doing. They're kind of alluding to her being in the MCU movie soon, so might be a different character or whatnot. But let's just keep it professional, everybody on the page. If you got opinions and stuff, or if you got something that you need to get off your chest, come to one of us admins first, versus just blasting it out there. Because we're all here to help out each other. We're not here to bring down anybody just because you don't like something that somebody else does. Okay.
For that.
um, with that being said, uh, a lot of stuff going on in the comic world right now. Hey, Dr. Nico, welcome in. Um, so we got extermination going on right now. BJ, did you get a chance to read the first issue?
Yeah, and I just finished reading the second one about an hour ago.
So no softball
Yeah,
today?
yeah, we played at 6:30, so no doubleheader.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I picked it up yesterday. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. But cool thing is that we're going to see a lot of changes with that, and that's why I wanted to bring this tonight because this is the new previews. Um, so the first thing off the bat we all see is going to be the new Uncanny X-Men um, actual cover. And so what it looks like, of course, is they're saying they're all disassembled. Reading through the preview of it, it pretty much says it's going to be a 10-issue weekly series. So BJ, get your wallet out because you're going to need it for this one. Um,
Oh,
yeah, it
damn it.
says 10 issues. First issue is $7.99, and then all the other issues are $3.99 each. So yeah, and there is, I don't know how good this is going to show up, but I'm going to try to do it.
All right.
All of those is pretty much number one, except for the bottom five. So there's about 10 variants of the first one. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to be a fun one. Um, but this is cool though, because I thought he was gone. I thought Legion was gone after his miniseries. So I want to see how he's going to play an effect to it. Hey, Rabbit. Um, and then, of course, if you've been reading Multiple Man, that's going to play into it as well because issue number two actually has Multiple Man on the cover. So we'll definitely have to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing that I saw in here, which has made me really happy, was this right here. Marvel Knights 20th anniversary. I'm so excited to see Marvel Knights come back. Um,
Who's that guy in the green on the bottom left?
um, that's Marvel Boy. Did you ever read Marvel Boy, Marvel Knights?
No, I did not.
Okay. So you might want to pick up. They're actually doing all the trades from Marvel Knights right now too. They're gonna come out with all of those in Predifest of this. But the cool part is Donnie Cates is going to be the one starting the miniseries.
I
Um,
see that.
so it's going to be cool to have him do his spin on it. Um, let's see what else was in here this week. Oh, and let's see, Avengers number 10, which is actually Avengers 700
Yep.
from the Legacy. So that's gonna be a big issue for them, and they're gonna be doing Uncanny X-Men variants as well. So yeah, I'll definitely be getting all of those. And then, but the cool thing is, I love this cover right here from Alex Ross. It's gonna be
Yeah,
the
I do
variant
too.
cover for it. All right, and let's see. I was trying to see. Oh, and then of course, all the Logan fans out there, Dead Man Logan is going to have his mini series come out. This, of course, is
Yep.
dealing with the death of Old Man Logan. And if you don't know what's going on with Old Man Logan is he's actually dying. It's because he's getting adamantium poisoning. So if you guys remember in the Death of Wolverine when Charles Soule did it, he died of the same exact thing. You know, he was dying of the adamantium poison because he didn't have a healing factor anymore. Well, same thing's happening to Old Man Logan now. Is that his healing factor is not working right, so he's now getting adamantium poison, and it's actually destroying his body as he goes. I don't know if you guys can tell from the image, but if you can see here, he's got bone claws on one hand and adamantium claws on the other. So he's going way downhill real fast. Uh, so it's going to be interesting. And then this, I can't wait for this one. I really can't wait for this. Web of Venom, Carnage number one. You
Yeah.
know, Donnie Cates has been killing it with Venom lately. And then, of course, your boy and our friend, Chad Bowers, of course,
Yep.
doing Infinity Wars, number, this is Sleepwalker 3 or 4. So, and it's cool because was it Man, Thing, Thum? That's a lot to say in one word,
Yeah.
one phrase. Um,
Brilliant.
I mean, I can't wait. I mean, it's like I'm going back to the old '90s days, when we were reading Sleepwalker and Darkhawk and Secret Defenders and all of those books. And what was the other one we used to read? What was it? What was it? The war? Was it New Warriors that had like Night Thrasher and Thunderball and all them in it?
Speedball.
Speedball. There you go.
Yep.
Yep. So definitely, it's definitely going to be interesting. And of course, it talks about Infinity Warps, Infinity Wars. So it's going to be interesting. I'm really excited for this one right here, though. Weapon Hex. It was like, oh yeah. It's interesting to see how they're going to do this. Um, I will be glad though when Infinity Wars and all this is done, because it's been a lot of books to read and trying to keep up. And you actually have to read pretty much all of them if you want to
Yes.
keep caught up in them, because everything ties in. Let's see.
You got a Captain Marvel prelude to the movie.
Yep, just saw that one. And then Marvel 2-in-1. If you guys remember, I talked about this a couple of months ago. It's going to continue on, even though Fantastic Four is going to have its own book, but now it's going to be Human Torch and Invisible Woman versus the Thing and an Invisible Torch. And let's see. Yeah, Captain Marvel. Let's see. And oh, and this has been. I don't know if you've read this one yet, BJ. The Death of Inhumans.
Nope, not yet.
It's phenomenal how they're doing it. It's an amazing story. Um, Needless to say, they kill off a third of the Inhumans in the first book. Um, so it's interesting how they're going to tie it all around. And then, of course, what's going to make me sad is going to be this book right here, and that's going to be Cosmic Ghost Rider number 5, because that's going to be the final issue of it. But as you can
Oh,
tell, you got Thanos and a Punisher outfit. You've got Punisher and a Ghost Rider outfit, and then you've got Baby Thanos.
yeah.
Um, it's a cool story. I mean, that's why I can't. I mean, I can't get enough of Donny Cates. Oh, and we were talking about Extermination, and then here's the cover to Extermination number 5, the final
Yeah.
issue. So yeah, they've got a lot of good stuff coming out. And trying to see. Oh yeah. So remember we were talking about this last week, BJ. Phoenix Logan, Phoenix Wolverine.
Yeah.
So hey, Prulio, welcome in, brother. Um, but it's about to get freaking crazy with books again. We kind of had a break this last month or so, but now it's about to get more excited, even more. And I looked at the DC one. The other one that really stood out to me was this new Green Lantern coming out by Grant Morrison, which tells me
Ooh.
two things: is that it's either going to be like the new X-Men and suck, or it's going to be like when he did the other what was that other series he did in DC? League of Extraordinary Men, of Extraordinary Gentlemen. If he does it like that, then it's going to be a phenomenal series. But we'll have to see. I'm not going to hold my breath until I see it. Um, oh, and then our favorite story of the year. Look at this, guys. Doomsday Clock number 8 does not come out until November 28th of 18.
Ugh.
So they are dragging this book out way back. But that kind of goes back to the discussion we were having last week. Is like they've got a plan with this book, though. Like they're doing something with it to tie it into a lot of things. But it's I don't know. Just to me, it's getting dragged out a little bit too long, and they've lost a lot of people to actually read the actual storyline.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people start forgetting what that it's going to be out. They're like, oh, what's here? Well, we mess with their sales.
Yep, and because if they would have kept it on the monthly or at least on the the biweekly like they were doing before, they would have already been almost done. They would have kept a lot of readers entertained into the series, and they would have read it through.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're being patient about it to make sure it's a good storyline and it stays with um, the Alan Moore's Watchmen side too. Just to have respect for one of the greatest stories out there from DC in the what 80s I think.
80s, yeah. Well, and the bad part is like they just brought out those new DC Essentials figures for the Doomsday Clock. And I
Oh,
saw them yesterday at my LCS. They had the set of Osmondius, and then the one, and then the other, the Mime, and that one. They looked horrible in person. I mean, I looked at them thing. I'm
uh,
like, what are you guys doing? And they wanted like $40 for it. And I understand the price because it's $20 each, in a box. But there was no accessories. There was nothing with it. So it's like, come on, guys. The icons at least had a bunch of stuff in them.
yeah.
Good grief. Um, So other than that, the only thing else I saw out there, big wise, was the we got Batwoman coming out now. They're gonna have its own series that's coming out. Ruby Rose has been put as the lead for it, and then there, who was it? It was Alec Baldwin. He got shot to be in the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix, and then literally the next day, Alec Baldwin exits the Joker. So it's
Oh.
like, okay, I guess they really didn't think that one through too much.
I guess not. I didn't even see that. Um, that's not a good start for a show that hasn't even started producing. And I believe you got September coming up, so Day of the Class should be showing up on Sci-Fi in a couple of weeks. I would say check that out.
Yeah, I know. I've been watching the new season of Preacher, and I just finished up with it. So I'm gonna definitely need a show. Oh, and then the I saw a thing this morning on CBR. The Gifted season 2 is coming out, and they're gonna
Good.
have Warpath in it. So they're tying it to X Force and everything because everybody kind of forgot about the Gifted. That is the X-Men show.
Hmm.
Um, it wasn't the best in the world though. I mean, I watched the first season and I just slugged through it. It isn't
Yeah.
like the Legion show, on FX. I was actually captivated with that show. It's like it made you start thinking really deep. Like, could this really happen?
Hmm. Then there's September 7th is season 2 of Iron Fist. From when I watched Luke Cage, he had a cameo in it, and he seems more relaxed and chill, and not a hyper immature kind of human being. So hopefully that'll flow into the storyline, and no more repeated words of "I am the more immortal Iron Fist, Protector Kanu."
Well, and the other catch too is that they showed an image of Iron Fist with his actual classic uniform too in there. So if they bring
Cool.
back the actual uniform, that's gonna make a lot of people happy. It's like, and I get it, in the MCU universe, their uniforms are not going to be exactly the same. Like the Daredevil uniform is a good example of it. It's not exactly the same, but you can tell by looking at it, it's Daredevil.
Hmm.
Like Elektra was the same way. You could look at her and tell that was Elektra in there. It's not my favorite. I always go back to the Frank Miller run. Of actually the red suit. With the hair and everything. That was my Elektra. But you can still tell who these characters are. So it's kind of nice they're going to bring that back. I just hope they don't do a Defenders season two. The last Defenders to me was dragged out and it was too long.
And it was only what 8 episodes too, so it felt longer.
Well, and like remember they fought for like 3 episodes to even be the Defenders, and then it finally got to, and it's like they get to. I mean, it's like they could have did all that in one movie. Like if they would have did it as a movie versus a series, like a Netflix movie, I think it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, like a part 1 of part 4 would be nice. Or I mean, maybe even 3 parts of it. A little trilogy would be nice. Saga.
Yeah, because I mean that's kind of what they were tying all the seasons together in. Like every season had a good flow to it, except for Iron Fist. I didn't like Iron Fist dragged on way too long for me. But it was like by the time you got to the Defenders, like okay, you've got the characters, let's make them the Defenders. Let's get them to go fight something, and then they did. They went and fought the Hand and everything like that in there to finish up that Kamala. But it's like we could have did that in 2 or 3 episodes. It could have been, hey, they are all fighting the Hand at one point. They get sucked into one episode. Then the next episode is them going to go fight them, and then the third one is, hey, we fought them. We're done. Let's go. Um, but that's kind of the catch-22. We do have a question though. Ryan A asks, "What do y'all think of the new DC network coming? What do you think, DJ?"
When's that coming?
I think that's this fall.
Is it? I I don't know. I have to see what all they have on there, and then see how much it would be. I would like to maybe get a little, free 10-day trial and see what it is. I like what they did. They upgraded the Batman Adventures to full HD. That's great, and more to it. Just see what happens. I wouldn't mind seeing some odd uh, TV shows, New Gods or Blue Devil. I'd like to see Blue Devil as his own TV show. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, because I mean, the Titans looks amazing. When I saw that trailer for Titans, and it was like rated R, I'm like, that's the Titans I want to watch. That's a lot better than the whole Arrowverse that we have now. Because if they do that, like, I would love for them to do the Demon or do like a Justice League Dark kind of thing. Where you brought in Swamp Thing. You've already got Constantine already. He's going to be in Legends of Tomorrow already. So bring like Constantine in, you bring in Zatanna, you bring those kind of characters in. They could do that well, I think, on there. Because I mean, and the cool thing that I like that they're going to do though is they bring all their movies and shows with them too. Like they're going to bring all those animated DC movies out there. Like I haven't had a chance to watch all of them. The last one I watched was the Superman, the Death of Superman one. I watched that one, and that was really good. So it's nice that they're actually going to have all this readily available on their show.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't get a chance to watch the new, I guess, remake of the Death of Superman. I saw the early one from 11, 12 years ago, I'd say. But I always love the DC animated. There are some that I don't like, but mostly they're good. And back when they first started coming out, they always have a handful of episodes here and there to of Justice League Unlimited or some Batman like Brave and the Bold, which is great because you get because samples of a show, and you might like those episodes, and now you can go and either buy it on Blu-ray or just get a subscription to the DC Universe channel.
Yeah, I'm wondering how it's going to really roll out. I mean, because like for a lot of us, we have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have these things. There hasn't been really a lot of talk. Like, all right, how do you get it? How do you get a subscription to it? It's like how do you sign up for it? It's
Hmm.
like I run everything off my PS4 at home. So it's like, all right, I need an application to be able to do this. I'm hoping soon. Either on the DC.com website or maybe on a DC, universe site, they'll actually tell us, hey, this is the steps you need to do. Or, by the way, this is how much it's going to cost you if you want a paid subscription to it. Because that's the catch. It's like if you got Netflix today, you're already paying $11.99 a month for it already. It's like if I'm only going to watch one show or two shows off of the DC universe, is it really worth it? For me. It's like because we're getting ready to start. The fall seasons for all of our shows like Arrow, The Flash. You got Gotham starting. You've got DC Legends of Tomorrow. And you've got a lot of these DC shows about to start. Supergirl. So it's like if I'm only going to watch one or two on the DC universe side of it, is it really worth it for me? And that's why I think I agree with you is that if we can get a trial of it, see how it works, see if we like it enough, is it enough to keep you entertained to keep going with it? The other catch, I wonder, are they going to do it like Netflix, where Netflix gives you a whole season of the show, or is it going to be episodic where you have to go watch every week? Like on broadcast. I'm kind of wondering.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I don't know about that. So,
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, I'm gonna do some research on it, and whatever I find, I'll put on the page for everybody to see because I'm interested to see what it is. I mean, DC's been blowing it up on Instagram, Twitter, you name it. You can't go without seeing something about it lately on it. Um, but we'll have to see. But the other catch 22 is I wonder if they're actually connected. Is the DC universe connected in with the Arrowverse? Is like because we're talking primetime shows, we're talking Batwoman, we're talking Titans, we're talking the Swamp Thing show. Um, is it going to be tied into that Arrowverse, or is it going to be a separate universe? It's like because Gotham, it's not part of the Arrowverse at all.
yeah,
So I could see where like Gotham could be tied to that new DC, universe side of it, but Arrowverse is kept different, from it. It's just I don't know. We'll have to see.
yeah,
And then let's see what else. Yeah, you brought Dead to Class. That's coming up. We've got the Gifted Legion's going to come up. We've got New Mutants is still delayed. So is X-Men Phoenix. Dark Phoenix is still delayed till next spring, summertime frame. But Fox did say that they are going to proceed on with the movies though, because they do know that it's going to be a while before everything's finalized. So they want to do that. Um,
yeah. Um, and probably anything about New Mutants, scrap it and throw it away. I guess.
Well, and I heard today that Fox didn't like it. They didn't like the first draft of it. They went through and they're like, there were so many changes that were done that they didn't agree with the director on. And it's like, and they made it so dark for the New Mutants, and I get it. The Demon Bear story is a very dark story in the New Mutants comic. It
Yes.
really was. Um, but you've also got to show the good side of the New Mutants as well. You got to show that happy-go-lucky like Warlock. If they're going to introduce Warlock, you've got Cipher, you've got Magic, you've got these guys. Freaking Cannonball, he was a cut up in the New Mutants comic. So I don't know. It's like they're making all these kids. They be these all these kids, these dark kids that are depressed. In an area, and then now they say, "Oh, we're the New Mutants now."
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard because with the early New Mutants, they started off, happy go lucky. Then Bill Sienkiewicz came in and did the dark part with Demon Bear and Legion, and actually with the Shadow King too. And then Magneto came around, and it was more towards the '90s, so it got more '90s pop esque, I guess would say. And then a little bit more, they started growing up, I guess, and then he brought Rob Liefeld in, and more of a big gun, lots of pouches kind of thing. We're not the New Mutants anymore. We're gonna be something different. We're gonna be our own team.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point. Was it's the '90s? That was the change for the book. It really was because you went from having this little B team under Xavier to being an A team under Magneto. And
Yeah,
Magneto was like, hey, we're going to be an actual team. We don't care what Xavier and the X Men do. We're going to be our own thing and do that. And then Cable comes in and says, get the hell out, Magneto. You're not a good guy. Go away. And I'm going to take all these kids because I know what's going to happen in the future. And they're going to be my team, which of course becomes X Force, literally like, what was it? He shows up in '87, and by issue 100, we're done. So not even in a year, or a little over a year, it becomes its own set of people.
yeah,
Because remember, back then, books came out once a month, not once every week or once every 2 weeks.
yeah.
Um, so it was interesting. I mean, and it's kind of funny because like I'm actually going back and picking up a lot of '90s books right now. I just picked up some of the Executioner song, that was Strife and Cable, and
Hmm.
trying to find the Phalanx Covenant, because those stories were real stories back then too. I loved how they did those stories. Those crossovers were like 5 issues, 6 issues, maybe 12, depending on what it was, but there was a reason why you had to read it, and it wasn't the same characters either. It made it interesting read back then. I mean, my favorite series, of course, is Age of Apocalypse. That the idea of Legion coming back in the past and killing Xavier and it causing a new dystopia kind of world. It was kind of cool. They don't do that kind of storyline anymore. Or if they do it, they do that. Like House of M was the last time I really liked how they did it. When they
Yeah.
said, okay, no more mutants, and because Scarlet Witch made her own world out of the earth, and then it was like a big difference. Um, they tried it without, but if you notice, it's been like more mergings of things or dismergings of things or retcons of a retcon of a retcon lately.
Yeah, it's like they're starting to build up something, and it just like I'm not sure if it's because of not selling enough books, but they're like, okay, maybe not, and then they do it with another one, like, okay, maybe not as well, and hopefully after Extermination we'll see something good. I see they're doing something good with the Astonishing X-Men. I like the way they're going with that. It's kind of like their own different story, like a sub part of it. And then X-Men Red, so far so good.
Yeah, I'm really digging Astonishing X-Men. I like how they did that. If you remember, like Marvel Comics Presents used to do the same thing. They'd have a set of writers and artists. They would do a storyline for so long, and then they'd bring a new
Hmm.
set in, and then they would do their own story, and they would change the characters up. And I liked how Astonishing did that. We had Sewell for a long
Hmm.
time. He did his initial story. Now we're on Rosenberg, doing his set of stories, and we got all new characters and a zombie, freaking banshee. So to me, it's like they're doing great stories with that. X Men Red has been really good, but it seems like it's the same story over and over again. That's the only problem with X Men Red. Like, I'm glad Jean Grey is back alive finally in the universe. I'm glad that she's trying to change things and stuff. But it's
Uh-huh.
like it's the same. It's that same storyline of okay, we're trying to make sure nobody doesn't hate us anymore. It's like
Hmm.
I actually like the Magneto version of it is in X Men Blue. And Magneto's like, everybody hates us. We need to protect ourselves. We need to do something. We got to do something to change the concept. If Jean Grey can do that, then it's going to work in X Men Red. If not, it's going to be the same storyline we've had for the last 30 years.
The good thing about Red is that they added a couple new mutants. I can't remember the names right now. You get the one from Wakanda, who's basically a giant, and then the one other female that can talk to machines, basically. Another bishop, I guess, but not as crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny, like when she makes the Sentinel their actual vehicle that take them around everywhere, and then everybody's
Yeah.
freaking out about that. I mean, it was like, okay, I can see that. She can talk to things. She can make. It's like Cipher. You remember Cipher? He was the same way. Cipher could talk
Yeah,
to machines and talk to the internet and stuff, which is kind of funny because if you read Weapon Lost,
that's
Cipher
right.
was in there, and it was like it's like holy crap, we brought Cipher back from New Mutants, into a book. It's like, and she's really the new Cipher, and they've kind of did that New Mutants kind of feeling to it.
Yeah,
But the cool thing we're gonna have to really watch though is this new Uncanny X-Men book though. Is I want to see what they're actually going to do because we're losing X-Men Blue, we're losing X-Men Gold after issue 36, and it's right around when Extermination 5 gets done. So once Extermination 5's done, the X-Men Blue team's gone. Now it's just an Uncanny X-Men book. The one thing I did notice though, it talked about in previews, that's a 10-issue series. So that's a maxi series. That's not like a new series that's going to be continuing after the fact, unless they say, hey, after issue 10, we're going to continue it on, for 11 or whatnot. We don't have any X-Men books after that. The only thing we're going to have really is going to be Astonishing X-Men and X-Men Red. Because the X-Men Black ones are just one shots.
yeah. It must be building up to something. Hopefully.
I hope so, man. All I know is that I'm okay if we go down to one book. Like, literally, it'd be funny if Marvel says, we're just going to do Astonishing X-Men, Weapon X, and a couple of these and X-Men Red, and that's all we're going to do for a while. It'd be interesting to see that dynamic of like, hey, we actually get to save money as collectors and just buy certain books,
Hmm.
because the other catch is that we've got the return of Wolverine about to happen too. So, I mean, that's going to take up a lot of time for a lot of people. I mean, we just got Dead Ends out this week, so that's finishing up the hunt for Wolverine, whereas Return of Wolverine starts soon. Um, it's going to be a series. I think is going to it's going to screw with people. I think too, because we're all trying to figure out why does he have these claws, these heated claws now with a new mutant power. It's like
Right.
it's like, well, wait a minute. How many times has Wolverine died and then came back to life? I mean, let's like think about it. Fatal Attractions. He nearly died, but when Magneto ripped out his adamantium of him, he went, freaking into a subconscious state where the only thing that brought him back was actually Phoenix. Let's see. He's died physically from the death, from adamantium poisoning. Hell, he's been had his head cut off. He's had hands cut off. I mean, there's been so many times Wolverine has died, but he never came back with a mutant power, like another mutant power. So it makes me think that because he had the Infinity Stone, when he came back, that might have twisted how he is now.
Yeah. Maybe he might have been a new evolution of his mutant power, something as well. That could be a different side.
Well, and they've been talking about that. So we've seen that recently in the X-Men series a lot where they're on their second or third mutation as a mutant themselves. Like they're
Hmm.
getting more powers as they go on. Um, and when they did the whole was it motherboard thing or whatever it was in X-Men Blue, where they were giving all these mutations out to everybody. And Magneto stops Havoc and Emma Frost and them. It's like the Mother Vine. That's what it was called. Mother Vine was
Yeah.
supposed to give mutations to everybody in the world, and then it was going to give secondary or third mutations to mutants themselves. Well, it killed most of the people because they couldn't handle it. I like the idea. I like the idea of a second or third mutation because they are mutants. They are not human beings. It's like if you think about it in a genetic perspective, it's like if they're mutating, that means their body can always mutate again, into something different. I mean, Emma Frost did it. Look at her. I mean, she was originally a telekinetic only and a psychic, and then she gained that version of being able to do diamond. That was her secondary mutation.
Hmm. Um, Iceman, he has new moves as well. You know, he can build other characters too. He can build into a giant Iceman as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because you remember in the '90s when Emma Frost, kind of messed with Iceman's mind when he took over when she took over his body. She was like, "You can do all this other stuff. You can freeze people to the point of death. If you want to. You just don't do it. And he's
Yeah.
been screwed up ever since then. If you think about it, I mean, the regular Iceman, not the X Men Blue Iceman, but the real Iceman today. He's been screwed up ever since that.
Yeah, I think he's been messed up since him and Mystique started dating back in what 5 6 years ago.
Yep. All right, we talked a lot of Marvel stuff. DC wise, though, there hasn't been a lot, and there's a reason for that because they can't get off their ass and give us good stories lately.
Mhm.
Um, and except for a couple. Now, let me talk about the ones that I like. This is just Nate's opinion, of course. Hawkman, because it's an extension of Metals, because I
Right.
love Metals, of course. Um, Superman Action Comics, eh. I read the Superman 2 because I ended up getting that last week and was not really superly impressed with it. So I might be dropping Action Comics and Superman just because Bendis' writing has not been the best for me on that. And it really sucks too because the Man of Steel story was awesome. I love that Man of Steel story. That was a great story. But the one thing I highly recommend if anybody wants to read DC right now, go read like the new Challengers, Brimstone, all these news stories that came out of Metals. Those new storylines have been phenomenal, except for Damage. Don't read Damage; that's crap. Um, but I tell you, the one that we were talking about, Justice League Dark, that book has been really good. I mean, I read the first issue of that one. That was really good. It's going to have a tie-in with Wonder Woman soon. They're about to have its own little mini series go on, and so if you guys remember, with the events of metals that kind of destroyed the source wall. Well, the source wall is what protected everything. Well, that actually jacked up the magic universe as well in the DC. So Justice League Dark and Wonder Woman is going to try to deal with those issues out there to fix that. So we'll have to see. Batman, not so much, except for one. I saw a picture of it. It's Sam Keith, the Max, and Batman coming out. I am so getting that book. I am so. I mean, it's like holy
Yeah.
crap. You know, it's like as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I already put that on my pull list. I said, you give me every version of that book because it's Sam Keith. I know it's going to be good.
It's funny is what is Max is in the real world he's like a homeless character, but in his mind or other part he's in a jungle, and then the Batman he creates kind of looks like a homeless Batman.
Yeah. Well, and it's like it reminds me of like what would happen when Sam Keith and Jay Lee used to get together. You know, like of their
Oh man,
storylines. Um,
yeah,
all right,
just
and
throwing
then
like
so
ink
Ryan
everywhere
has,
on those things.
and Ryan just asked us a question. What do you think about them redoing Green Lantern? I kind of hinted on that when I showed previews this week. Green Lantern by Grant Morrison. I don't know. I'm gonna pick up an issue or two and see if he does justice to it or if he screws it up like he did X Men. Because he's one of those writers that can do really well if he has, like if he's given all the opportunity to write a story, he does amazing. Um, but if he's getting pushed to do like an issue like every week or every other week, making a bi-weekly kind of book, I got a feeling there's going to be something suffer on that one.
Um, I've always been a fan of Green Lantern. I haven't really read any. I've always bought the trades. Um, Rebirth, I did that one, and then some of the Sinestro War, the Red Lantern War, just back in the day. I probably won't pick it up. I've been reading a lot of DC on Hoopla. I mean actually the whole thing I've bookmarked is nothing but DC, so I can catch up on DC itself. I just read the first 25 pages or issues of Nightwing Rebirth.
Mm,
Um, I like the storyline. Some of it is kind of similar to Batman's side, stories and whatnot. Some of the art is good. Some of the art is okay. I mean, it's not my style that I prefer, but I just like how it's going with him hanging out with Damien, like kind of like his kid brother basically, and they're best friends.
yep.
Bloodhaven. Um, just to start his own kind of style. And then the other character, Raptor, that's a good character. I like him. I hope to see him back again.
Well, it's like I was the same way. Like I read all of DC when they did like Rebirth. You know, they did Blackest Night, they did Brightest Day. We got to the New 52, and I loved the Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo run on Batman. That was one of my favorite stories. I read that whole. I have every issue of that series because I love that series on Batman. When I don't know, it's just like when they started doing like what was it War of the Green Lanterns? I think during Rebirth, and they started introducing all these new characters for Green Lantern, and then it wasn't Hal Jordan wasn't the main, Lantern anymore. It's just like they brought in that brand new guy. I'm like, dude, okay, you don't have Guy Gardner, you don't have John Stewart, you don't have Hal Jordan being the lead Green Lanterns anymore. So it's like I don't really want to read it, and that's because those are the ones I grew up with as a Green Lantern guy. You know, everybody that's reading it now, that's what they were growing up with. They grew up with Kyle Rayner. They grew up with having Tamar, Jessica Cruz. They're growing up with that. It's not saying that they're not good stories. Those are just not stories I would read because
Hmm.
that's not my Green Lantern.
Right.
With Grant Morrison coming back in and bringing Hal Jordan to the forefront of Green Lantern again, that might be something that brings me back to Green Lantern. I've read some of the issues of the recent stuff, and it's like, okay, big deal. No, nothing really special, that it captivates me to keep reading the book. But I tell you what threw me off though was reading Justice League. So if you read the last issue of Justice League, they show a white lantern at the end of the book. So we all thought that the White Lantern was gone at the War of the Green Lanterns or War of the Third Army because Kyle Rayner was the White Lantern, but then he had
Mhm.
his ring destroyed. So they said no more White Lantern. And was it No Justice and in Justice League? They brought back the a new Spectrum, which was just kind of like a fear spectrum a little bit, but it was also like a different. It was a purple, which ended up taking over the whole Earth. And literally at the last part of it, John Stewart heals the whole Earth with the Flash. And then it turns into a White Lantern at the end of the book. So it was a cool story for them to bring back the White Lantern, which makes me think that's why they're going to be redoing Green Lantern too, is because they're bringing back those concepts, like the Jeff Johns concepts we had of like the different, colors of the lanterns, and stuff
Mhm.
like I loved Red Lanterns. That was one of my favorite books that he did. Red Lanterns, you have Atrocious and all of them. And it was like, oh yeah, these are great stories. And then they kind of stopped all of that, and then they went to just Green Lantern Corps, and then they Green Lanterns. I was like, all right, I'm done. Um, and I think in the real thing that changed was Jeff Johns wasn't doing Green Lantern anymore. That was a big change.
Yeah.
Doug Key came back in to do a lot of his stuff, and I'm like, I'm not a Tomasi fan. I'm not a huge Doug Mankey fan. So I was like, I think that's what kind of took me off of it. I love when Jeff Johns and Ivan Reese does it. Can't help it. Ivan's a friend of mine, so it's like if my friend's drawing the book, I'm going to support him. Just like
Right.
Chad or Adam. We're going to support them.
Yeah.
Um, it's the same thing. It's like, come on, guys, give me stories that I would like to read as a collector. Um, but we'll have to see if they bring White Lantern back. That gives me some hope. It really does. But you know what that also means? I have to go read all the other shit now from Green Lantern. Caught up.
That's good stuff.
Um, and let's see. Hey, Sith, welcome in, brother. Ryan A. after Batman Damned. I saw the cover of it. I don't know. We're going to have to find out how it goes. I know I just pre ordered my White Lantern trade paperback, or the White Knight trade paperback in from my LCS. So that way
Right.
I can read that series. 'Cause I was kind of waiting on that to come in before I can read it because I was already late to the game when it came out. Um, so definitely want to read that one. And welcome in, James. Um, So the cool thing DC is doing though, and I will give them props to it, is they're not retconning everything right now. They are just going through the storyline and they're going with it as it goes.
Yeah.
And that's really because of Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns has got a kind of a path he's putting everybody on right now, and it kind of makes me wonder if that's why Doomsday Clock is so delayed because he's writing the story with him and and having Frank be, Frank being the artist. So it makes me kind of wonder if that's kind of the plan. It's like he's going to screw with the DC universe so much that Doomsday Clock is going to reset it and correct all the issues.
All right. Well, then maybe it's a good idea that it's going to take every 2 months to come out because they're actually giving other storylines a chance to go longer than they did with New 52 into Rebirth and whatnot.
Yeah, because you think about like in Superman, for example, they've got the whole issue where like, all right, all the Lois and his son Jonathan, they're all in space right now. You're gonna have to get that to come back. We just had Rogel too, who actually was the one who destroyed Krypton. Well, they need to explain that and go back into it. The Phantom Zone issue of everything in the universe is actually in the Phantom universe now. So it's just like they had to give time to kind of cultivate that. Fix the magic issues, fix the source wall, fix everything in the Green Lantern universe. They gotta fix all that stuff, and then that's what makes me think that that's what's going to be the culmination. Is that at the end of it, Superman will say, "All right, we fixed everything, Doctor Manhattan. Will you stop doing this to our universe?"
Hey, give me 1 second. My dog wants in here real quick. Gotta get her some water. Be right back.
All right. So, what do you guys out there in internet world think of all the storylines, especially in the Marvel and DC? We haven't even got the Image yet because there's a lot going on. All right, Prulio says he thinks. Let's see. Sorry about that. No worries, man. I know the feeling.
I can hear her
Oh.
pacing back and forth, so I was like, all right, let me get her in real quick.
Got to take care of the dog, man.
Yeah, she's a good girl.
Um, so the only thing we haven't really talked about is Image lately because there's not been a whole lot with Image, other than the crossover between the Max and Batman that we got coming out. But I know Saga's kind of on hold now for a while. So is Youngblood because of the Blood Wars coming out. So I'm excited to see Blood Wars. Excited to see where that's going to go. Um, I got a feeling Redneck's about to end soon because they just killed off one of the main characters.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of so spoiler. Yeah, they killed off one of the main characters. So I'm wondering if because of all the work Donny Cates is doing in Marvel now, is that he's not able to have as much time to focus on those. Because you can kind of tell the
Yeah.
storylines are starting to dip down a little bit. Like it's going to sunset out. It's like, and I'd rather see it sunset out and then they just finalize it than it get dragged for like 30 issues. I'd rather it be like a 16 issue story or something like that, where they end it, really good. Saga has been dragged out for years. I mean, it meant Seven to Eternity has been dragged out for a long time.
Mhm.
We're talking about books that's been years, from one to another. I mean, and I understand that. I mean, you look at like Mark Millar and what he's been doing, it's like he does a story and like literally he's got like 10 issues done already, ready to go. He sends that whole thing to Image and you just get it and you get it and you get it like Reborn. You got the full 6 issues in 6 months, and it was a
Mhm.
storyline. It made you want to read more. Like, all right, where's the next story? There is no other story. There is nothing. Unless they come back to you and say, "Hey, can you do something new for me?"
Yeah. Listen. Another good thing about Image is they, with all the writers, they have good, a good time to write on something else while they're on break in between their other story. They can do a mini series, or they can work on this other story that they've been doing as well, and then come back. Because then you're like, hell yeah, dude! We're finally waiting. It's here. We got 5 good months of this. Let's do this. And side note on Image news, you've got Greg Nicotero going to be doing the costume designing for the Spawn movie, which is actually really good. I think that's a good idea with him doing The Walking Dead and whatnot, and the really good job doing that as well for 8 years, 9 years now. So
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I saw that too. And McFarlane was actually happy. He was coming on board to do it. He was like, and it's going to
mhm.
be. McFarlane said it's going to be a completely different design of Spawn. He said it's not going to look like Spawn in the comics. It's not going to look like Spawn in the original movie. It's going to be a different version of Spawn. He said, but it's going to be a great one, and they want to take their time to do it right. And I was like, dude, I'm all about it. If they're going to do Spawn right, then do it right the first time.
Absolutely. That makes you want to wonder how long Walker Dead's going to be now that he's going to be working on the Spawn movie.
Well, and you always worry about that. Like, I got a feeling Walking Dead's over after the next season. I really do. I mean, you've just had Andrew Lincoln come off. You just had Lauren Cohan come off of the show. You had freaking Carl. Carl's gone. So Carl, I
Yeah.
mean, your three of your big characters that you've had since really the first and second season of the show are gone now. I mean, the only thing you're really left with is Michonne, and Daryl. So it's like, how long are they going to carry the seasons to go? Um, it's like I said, I got a feeling it's going to be after next season. They're going to end it,
Yeah.
which is could be why Greg Nicotero is going to go work on Spawn because he's going to have work to do after Walking Dead. That's kind of the catch-22.
Yeah. And he does have ties with Image, working with Robert Kirkman for almost 10 years. So
Yep. Well, and it's just like I mean, and Nick Taro, I mean, he's not really been in the comic world as much as Scotty Adler or Charlie Adler, and a couple of the other ones, but he's actually he's gave producer support on a couple of the Walking Dead issues. He's been named out like, hey, I helped write some of the stories for this. Kirkman went with him on it, so it would be kind of cool if we had a book where you had Nick Terra, you had Kirkman, you had Adler, all just do a book, and it's not Walking Dead. It's just like Kirkman doing Oblivion song right now, and he's doing Die Die Die,
mhm.
completely different from The Walking Dead. Now Oblivion Song kind of has that feeling a little bit of Walking Dead into it. It's like they're in a kind of a weird universe where there is a group of monsters and there's the normal people. So it kind of has that feeling a little bit of Walking Dead, but it's not exactly the same. Um, I have no idea about Die Die Die. I've not even had a chance to pick up the first issue to read. Ours hasn't even got the second print of the first issue in yet. All they got was number two in. So I'm like, you get number one, let me know, and then I'll read it. Or I'll
Yeah.
just wait for the trade.
Yeah, that's probably one that would be waiting for the trade. I just picked it up because what all the people were saying on the book or in the group and on the live stream too. And I just looked up, it was right there. I was like, might as well. So,
Well, and that's why I think Kirkman doesn't have anything to worry about. Even after Walking Dead ends, he's got such a following now in the comic world as well as the TV world. He'll
mhm.
land something really decent. He'll have a new series that'll just jumpstart it because you put his name on it. The dude who made Walking Dead.
Mhm.
And he's one of the few people out there who does the show and he does the comic. You know, that's why I was glad when I heard Remender was going to go working on Deadly Class, the show as well. So he's actually helping out with it. So if he wasn't, I could see that show going way downhill real fast.
Yes. Or like a special writer or whatever they call it. I can't remember. Exclusive to the show. Some big name. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, you've got to have the writer put his input in there. If not, it's not going to work out. It's going to be. I don't think it would. I don't think I probably wouldn't watch it unless he was in there and showing that he was in there doing stuff or executive producing, helping out.
Yep. Well, there's only been one instance I've seen at work where you didn't have it, and that was the Watchmen movie, where Zack Snyder actually did the Watchmen movie really good. I mean, the movie was it 100% on board as the same as the Watchmen show from Alan Morton? No, it was not 100%, but it was a very good homage to the actual comic book. Um, and I would have loved Alan Moore to support it, but Alan Moore said, "Hell no, I ain't supporting nothing that DC wants to do." Hell, they just stole the Watchmen from Alan Moore and put him in the DC universe now. So we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah.
But what'd you get this week from Comic Shop?
Alrighty, let's get it. Yeah. Extermination number two. Oops. Pretty cool cover. Cyber Force #5.
Oh yeah,
Just read that one. X-Men Blue 34. 34.
that is foul.
New Mutants, Dead Souls #6. Hunt for Wolverine, Dead Ends, Variant Edition #1.
First appearance, Wolverine.
Yeah, I like that one. And then something that we can discuss after we show our stuff, possibly Infinity Prime, Wars Prime, Variant #1. Or, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna talk about that then.
Then Infinity Wars #1, Variant. He only had the variants left over, but he gave it to me for book price.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then I got #2 as well, another variant.
Yeah, I got that. Have you read 1 and 2 so far?
Yeah, I've read them all.
Okay.
Um, pickups. I got this from time. I just love these Justice League covers. They're all like the same, but with the different characters.
Oh yeah, Justice League International #1.
Yeah. And then I grabbed old Grand Moff. I never saw it up here, so he had it for 30. It was there Sunday. It was on sale for 20. I was like, I'll do it. Here you go. He gave it
Nice.
to me. Uh, Freddie E. Williams II, who's very popular with the He-Man Thundercats and the Batman Ninja Turtles, and now doing the Injustice He-Man. This is from his Green Arrow issue 0, page 3. It,
Nice.
from the pages. I talked to him for forever, and then I came back the next day to get this. He had two different portfolios of his. He had the ones with Batman and He-Man and all that. That was, ridiculous amount of money I couldn't afford. And he had his smaller one he did like digital comic books for with that, and then like Infinite Crisis and The Atom was on there. But that one was $45. I was like, I like it. I'll take it.
Well, especially for an artist, right, you and that. I mean, that's $45. I mean that. I mean, we were kind of talking about this in the chat the other day. It's like when I picked up my Neil Adams and Jim Lee ones in the '90s. They were $50, $60 back then.
Yeah.
Now those go for like $1,000, $2,000 each. And it's just crazy. That's why you support your artists no matter what.
Oh yeah.
Especially when they're just starting out.
I also crumbed up my Juggernaut cable. I
You,
used
you
some of
getting them
that.
ready for the Deadpool 2 version?
Was they got another cable coming out for the Marvel Legends?
Not yet, but everybody's trying to customize that body to make them into, the Josh Brolin version.
Yeah. No. I'm just. I was testing it on this one since I've got the other cable. I want to get my Colossus done too. So watch a little bit of Brock doing it, talking to him a little bit. So
Hey, Brock's the man when it comes down to customs, man. He
yes,
knows
sir.
his stuff.
And that's it.
All right, let's see. So, so it's not a comic, but we're going to be having the Arthur Burkhart at Hypno here in about a week or two. He's actually the voice actor of Destro, of course, as well as the voice actor of Devastator from Transformers. So definitely going to be hitting him up and he's giving a free signature to anybody. So
Cool.
I've got a couple of things I'm going to have him sign. Uh, So yeah, free publicity on Nate's channel. uh, so this week's haul, Exterminate number 2. I got the variant of number 2. And let's see, another variant of number 2. This is actually a connecting cover as well. So this goes with the Angel one I got last week. Um, so,
Cool.
so definitely excited to read that one. We got X-23, number 3.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so um, I put a link out there earlier this week. Unknown Comics had a sale on the Return of Wolverine number 1 with a cross-connecting cover with X-23 5, number 5. So I think that's going to be a tie-in issue. I think that was just a preface for an actual tie-in issue. So just a heads up.
All right.
So we got Deadpool Assassin number 6. This is the last issue of the miniseries. And this has been a funny read. This reminds me of Deadpool from the 90s, you know. And this is Cullen Bunn and Mark Bagley doing Deadpool. So you can't go too far wrong with those two guys.
Yeah. You can't beat Bagley.
Uh-uh. Let's see. Exiles number 7.
Is that still going good?
This has been really good. So the last issue, 6, ended the first saga.
Okay.
So during the first 6 issues, Blink found her old partners and the Exiles while she was traveling through the multiverses. So this tells me that they're probably going to be doing kind of a struggle of who gets Blink now, you know, kind of what we do.
Okay.
Because the other ones like Valkyrie, Iron Lad, and Little Wolvie, they no longer can go back to their home universes because they're destroyed. So,
Right.
so it's kind of they're kind of stuck now. Let's see, we got New Mutants, Dead Souls, number 6.
Mm-hmm.
X-Men Blue, 34.
Oh,
It's gonna be weird, you know, not actually having that series to read though. I've been really liking the series. All right, X-Men Grand Design, number 2. This is an awesome read. I mean, Ed Piscor does the writing, he does the artist, he does the letter, he does everything in the book. It's the only guy in the book. And then the variant with the retro
oh,
Jim Lee suits.
that's awesome.
We got Hunt for Wolverine, Dead Ends, number 1, the regular cover.
Yeah.
I got the first appearance cover as well. And let's see, we got um, the Kyone variant cover.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
And then I had to get this one because this was just a funny one. This is the Fantastic Four variant cover with Torch taking off the Thing's head, and you know, and it shows Ben Grimm in the show. I was like, I gotta get it, man. It was just too funny. All right, Web of Venom, Venom. If
Let
you
me know
guys
how that
remember,
is.
so if you guys remember, I think it was issue 2 or 3. Eddie Brock had actually met up with the guy who was the original guy to have the host of Venom, and it was kind of cool. They were in Vietnam, and, you know, and they were all given the whatchamacallit, the symbiotes. So it's this kind of a story. This is the story from back then. So it's kind of cool they're doing. And then here's the variant. All right. I lose you, BJ.
Yeah, you did.
Would you try to plug your power in again, didn't you?
Yep.
Uh-huh. We got Venom, first host, number 1. And then the variant. I love this cover is cool as hell.
Heck yeah.
We got Moon Knight 198. Talking about 90s things, you know, hey, Moon Knight's just about crazy as a box of rocks put together, so hey. Uh, We can see Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing and the Human Torch, number 9. Let's see, Shattered Grid, number 1. This is about over. The whole series thing is about over.
Right.
Um, got the 1 in 50 variant.
Nice.
And then I got the 1 in 25 variant as well. And then we got Cyber Force number 5.
Yeah.
Had to get it. I mean, it's a phenomenal read. And then Transformers Bumblebee number 3, the prequel to the
Oh,
movie.
okay.
So, and then finally, Deadpool 2, baby. Deadpool 2. Had to get it.
All right.
Super duper uncut version. So that's all I got so far. I got a bunch of I need to unbox, but I haven't had a chance to yet this week.
Yeah, I forgot I grabbed that misfire from Ollie's for 7.99. I
Yeah, I
forgot
saw
it's over in my room.
it in that, and I was like, dang. So I wish I had an Ollie's.
Oh yeah, yeah. They had a good bunch of other ones too, just the older ones, like Wolf Bane or something like that, and
Hmm.
Quake.
Yeah, the T-Man found them too. He found was it Trigger Happy, Quake, and Twinferno.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I was like, hey, I want that Twinferno because I gave mine to
yeah.
somebody
They
else who
were.
needed it worse.
I was sending him messages through the messenger there. When I showed him what I found, I was like, "Dude, go check your ollies real quick." Because the one of his videos he had was they had Overlord there and Octane and the other one. So I was like, "Oh crap, I didn't know they were at ollies." So kind of let him know. Just let me know back on his videos.
Definitely. Yeah, I was telling T that too because I saw that thing from allspark.com where they had announced that Ollie's had bought out a lot of the TRU inventory. So they were bringing all that stuff in now too. So it's gonna be interesting. Um, I mean, it's funny too. It's like I bought Overlord um, for full price almost a year ago, and now he's $20 at Ollie's. You know, same way with the Titans Return. I spent pretty much $15 a piece on the deluxes. At WalMarts and Targets and whatnot. And now they're $7, $8. I'm like, I hate you guys. I really hate you guys if you guys have those stores like that. Because my Ross doesn't really get nothing either.
Oh yeah, forgot about Ross.
But somebody was telling me today too. They went to Burlington Coat Factory and they found the whole wave of Volume 2 Guardians of the Galaxy with Nebula, Warlock, and all of them for like $9 each too.
They've been showing up at Five Below as well.
Yeah, I saw that this morning.
Yep. I got a Burlington right next to my workplace. I might gonna run over there.
You better check it
See
out.
what Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, if literally they've got them at Five Below, and they're if I can get the whole wave for $5, I'll bet. I don't know. I don't know. The hard part is I don't really collect MCU anymore. And that's kind of the catch-22. Is like I'd want the Warlock. The Adam Warlock, so I could have two versions, one with the Warlock head, one with the Magus head. That's the only one I'd really
Mhm.
want. Because the rest of them are MCU. I've got a
Well, we
Death
got
Head.
yeah, that's it too. I was gonna say that.
Yeah, I got that
Well,
one already. So it's just like, and I got one Warlock, so I might just get one more, to have an extra. It still isn't the classic suit though. It isn't, what in the Warlock from the '90s, or even the
no,
'80s.
no, no.
All right, let's see what we got in the comments. Let's see. James asked, "What do we think of Wolverine's new costume? Is it's reminiscent of this Age of Apocalypse suit?" Yes, it is. It's a combination of this patch uniform from the early '80s. Because where is it? Let's see. So many books. So when I look at this book here, this cries out patch to me, from the brand new 1988, series of Wolverine when it first came out. I mean, the only thing it's missing is just that it's not cut off on the arms right here. You know,
Yeah,
we'll have to see how it goes.
yeah. It's gonna take a while. That's all I'm gonna say. So, unfortunately.
I know. It's just like I just thought about. I was like, I've already got Death of Wolverine. I've got the aftermath of Death of Wolverine. I've got the Hunt for Wolverine. Now we're having the Return of Wolverine. It's like, oh god. Now I tell you what I hope they do though is eventually do like an omnibus of that whole thing. Put all of it in one omnibus. And it would be awesome because then I could just buy it to read it. And I could just put the books away for good. You know,
Mhm.
just but read it as one whole story would be nice.
Yeah.
All right, and Rabbit Hammer says he just needs a Star Lord to finish Mantis. So hit your five below, and welcome in Venom Fang. All right, let's talk about that Infinity Prime, Infinity Wars Prime.
Never
So,
heard of it.
so what'd you think reading through it?
Um. Oh, it was good. We can spoil it, right?
Oh yeah, we give spoilers. These books have been out for over almost 3 weeks on some of these,
Okay.
almost a month. So, by the way, people, if you guys don't realize on our channel, if you haven't read the book, we'll tell you if it's a spoiler or not. Like that's why we won't talk about this week's books typically. We won't. We'll talk about last week's book. Infinity Wars 2 came out last week. So just a preface. We don't try to spoil books if we can help it. That's why I
All
haven't
right.
talked about Infinity Wars because I've been waiting on BJ.
um, Killing Star Lord that came out of nowhere. I thought that was crazy, and I already knew about Thanos getting his head cut off, but carrying his head around that's pretty. I don't know. She's lost it, and but of course, whenever you use the time stone to bring back Star Lord and everything, that was then yeah, I was like, oh look, it's the movie.
Yeah,
um, but Gamora's getting nuts. She's going crazy. She's seeing Thanos on the side and her head. And I'm not sure. Did Captain America die on two? We got to find out when three comes out because like looked like she put like him and Doctor Strange into one thing. You just see nothing but blood coming out of it everywhere. So
yeah,
um, the alter the Prime I think it was with the Mighty Loki for the alternate universe. I thought that was pretty neat with all the Infinity Stones all around him, and then he dies.
yeah. It was funny. Like he died real fast. Like he was in this
Yeah,
in like one panel, and like 2 panels later, he's dead. And it's
yeah,
like, and it's funny because like our Loki was like, let me just go get his stones, and they're like, they won't work here. His little like tour
yeah.
guide was saying, you can't use them. They're from a different universe. They don't work the same. And I was like, ah, crap, because that would have been kind of a cool twist. Like if you could use the Infinity Stones from another multiverse in this universe, like and see what chaos that kind of causes. Because Loki would be the guy who could do that.
Yeah, definitely. And something's gonna happen with him too in the next issue as well. And I forgot that was at the end of issue two.
Yeah, because he ends up showing up at the end, end of issue 2 with his tour guide, and they're like, "Oh, this ain't gonna go well." Well, it was cool too. It's like it's like, and I had a feeling, when the whole Scion, little, they're like, it's Gamora. You knew it was Gamora because there was going to be somebody. It's going to all. She
Yeah.
said for how many years that she was going to go out and kill Thanos. She hates her dad, and just to see her do that Infinity Prime, she's like, screw it, just kills him. Doesn't even think about it, just does it.
Mm.
I think that's what's causing her mental issues right now, though, is that she just killed her dad. I think she's trying to deal with that by having him kind of inside her head. Because you saw at the end of the second issue, she got the soul gem. So she's able to go complete her soul back together.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a lot of dire consequences because the soul gem is corrupted right now, because it's got that bad stuff going on the inside of it. Warlock's telling
Yeah.
her, don't do it. And there's a reason why we're telling you don't do it. So we'll have to see what happens in issue 3.
Yeah, I think the art's great too. I'm not sure who this guy is, but they did a really good job of going with this artist.
Well, and it's going to be interesting because like we only get to issue 3, and then they start those new tie-ins, to the set. So the art there was an Arcanite, and then we're going to see Sleepwalker, we're going to see Darkhawk, and them. So it's going to be interesting to see like how it happens. So it tells me that issue 3 is probably where they screw up the universe again. Makes the
Uh-huh.
amalgam kind of universe. So I'm just expecting that to be like the final couple of pages of issue 3.
Yeah, they also have Thanos' legacy is tied to it as well.
Yep. Which makes me think that even though she's killed Thanos, that he's a ghost, pretty much floating around. It'd be funny to see him and Death show up in Thanos' legacy together. Be like, hey, I'm finally dead. We can be together now.
Yeah, I just want. What was the and from Infinity Gauntlet? What was the little guy from there? Not Puck. It was the elf good-looking guy from the
Oh,
'90s. He was one of the ones.
the one who used to have the cigar in his mouth and everything.
Yeah, what was he?
Damn it, what's his name? It starts with a P though. It does start with a P. All right, hold on one second.
You're looking it up.
Yep, I gotta look it up.
Anybody out there? Do you guys know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about? Infinity Gauntlet, early '90s. Yeah, the Infinity Watch. It was Gamora, Drax, Adam Warlock, and then the little guy with the
yeah.
ears. And then like,
Let's
what
see.
was?
I know exactly what you're talking about too, because I've got his first appearance too, and that's what sucks. It's
Oh,
in a Marvel premiere book. Let's see, what's his name? Pip, Pip the Troll.
Pip. Damn it.
Yep,
Where's he
and
at?
You forgot Moondragon too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Where's she at too?
Yep, bald headed with a green uniform. You couldn't miss that a mile away. And it's
Yep.
funny too because this last weekend I ended up buying Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War comics, the Infinity Watch comics. So the only thing I need to get now is just the Infinity Crusade. I'm gonna have that whole kind of stories, put together, and then I'm gonna work on getting Infinity, where Thanos was in it again. So I'm trying to read
It's
all those stories together because I haven't read those in probably 20 years, since they were out in the 90s, So I'm like, hey, I want to go back and read those. I haven't read those in a long time.
I never read the Crusade one. I need to do that. It's on Hoopla.
Yeah, but my hoopla ain't got crap here, man. My
That's
library.
with ACDC CDs.
The only thing I can go rent is a couple of CDs and some
Yeah.
MP3s. Um, but yeah, Crusade's actually a really good story. So you know about him and her, right? Like Adam Warlock was made, and then they ended up making a female version of Warlock, her.
Yeah, yeah, they split out his good and evil side, and the Crusade was the good part, and Matt is a Magnus, or Magus is his evil part. I remember
Well,
that.
that's Infinity War.
Yeah,
Infinity Crusade is where her comes back and says, "Hey, I want to make the universe of my own idea," and Warlock stops her pretty much.
okay,
So it's kind of a good like little bookend, to the whole Infinity. That's why that was the original trilogy. You had Gauntlet, War, and Crusade. It was kind of went together, and then the Infinity Watch books was kind of like that segue. They were like the interlock tie-in stuff.
gotcha.
That's why it's kind of cool with Infinity Wars that we got going on right now. Is like, hey, they're bringing back the whole stone idea thing, but they're all corrupted. Because if you remember, all the powers have changed on the Infinity Stones.
Yeah,
They're not the same ones it used to be. Um,
Oh,
and then remember you had the original, was it the Power Stone was this massive boulder, and then they're like, no, that's not the real Power Stone. It's just inside of that.
yeah.
Hey, Keyshawn.
What's up, KJ?
All right. So now you're all caught up now. You're finally caught up with everything. It takes a while, though.
Except for Death of Inhumans, I got to catch up on that one.
Yeah, you definitely need to read that book.
Yeah, I like the last Inhumans run there. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was maybe just Uncanny Inhumans.
Yep.
Who's that? Remender? I think Remender did that.
Yeah, because they had the X-Men versus Inhumans and Uncanny Inhumans, and then
Yeah.
now the Death. And what's cool is that it's all by itself. You don't have to have any other tie-in books for Death of Inhumans. It's its own little series, and it's kind of cool the way they did it. But the weird part is like there's no tie-ins with X-Men at all. It's like they talk about it a little bit, but there's no X-Men show up at all, in this whole series.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh, all right. Well, I think that's it. Let's see. The only thing going on I know is Dragon Con's going on right now down in Georgia.
Mhm.
I know Brian went down to that one. Some other
Yeah.
guys went down to it. Are you going down this weekend for it, or are you just gonna hang out?
No, I'm gonna work on my part-time job Saturday, and Michigan Notre Dame's playing that weekend as well. It's college season down here in the South, so you know what that is.
I do. You already
Uh,
I got UK already on the prime to watch them and see if they lose again for another season.
well, they've beat Carolina the past 4 years, and it's still stumped everybody how it happens. Um, but oh gosh, was IP going down to Dragon Con?
I don't know. Because I know Brian was going down. I
Yeah, he
I
lives
know
there.
Josh was talking about going, but then he said at the last stream I saw him on, he wasn't going now. I think it's because it's just the drive down to Georgia. It just takes so long to get there from those guys.
Yeah, it's a 3.5 hour on my side, but I'm on the east side of Atlanta. They're just directly south of it. But I gotta call IP or give him a message. If he was gonna go, I might go down there on that Sunday and say what's up to the guys, but I won't go into the convention.
Yeah, I definitely hit up David and see if he's going to. I know I'm in David's fantasy football league right now. We just went over a lot of our stuff yesterday, so he didn't say anything about going down. So yeah, just hit up IP. He'll let you know. I know he wanted to go down though to it.
Yeah. But no, the next one I'm gonna go to is in October. It is the Retro Toy Convention in Greenville, South Carolina. They've had a lot
Nice.
of they've had a lot of voice characters there, so I'm gonna go hang out. And they just asked Chad to go to be a guest. So I was like, hey man, let's go. He's like, actually, they just asked me to go to be a guest. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'll see you there then.
Hey, you can't beat free tickets, man.
Yeah, last time I got in for free at the Joe Con down in Augusta. Maybe you can let me get a free ticket too. Well, he'll be there, I guess, those 2 days. So I'm only gonna go Saturday.
Yeah, I know we've got a Ventura Toy Con here in a couple weeks. So Bernie and I are probably gonna go to that one. So that's probably gonna be our only one together here before we have the baby here, and me and Jess. So I'll probably be my last one for the year this year. So it's gonna be busy in my household real fast.
Yeah, that's your third or fourth.
It's our fourth. It's gonna be we already named her Emma Rose. So we're looking at the 12th of November. So we're talking 3 months out.
I'm the 10th of November. Go for the 10th. Push that thing out early.
No, needs to stand as long as it can. Needs to grow and grow, grow.
Well,
Um,
my mom's is the 11th, so that would be 10, 11, 12. So got to keep it going.
well, and the cool thing is this year, the 12th of November is Veterans Day. So it's, for me, it's huge. You know, it's like, because I'm retired military. So I'm like, hey, if it's on Veterans Day, that's even awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Steve says launch date is September 15th. Your thoughts on the service? Uh, we're going to have to figure that one out, Steven, because nobody knows a whole lot on it. And so we're going to have to figure out what the actual good, bad, ugly is. And so that's going to be our topic next week, BJ. We're going to talk about DC Universe. So I'll get some information together and then I'll put it out on the Syndi-Comics. And then I want to make that a discussion for all of us together.
um, I mean, if you want to go in on it, and I'll give we can split the charges, and you can watch on your side of the country, and I can watch on my side. Then we can give reviews on what shows and whatnot. And we can talk about it.
Definitely. Yeah, it launches the 15th. So we got a couple weeks. So you got to see like how it works. You know, it's like,
Yeah,
is it, because I would say it's tied to a specific email, you know, I would say. Um, so I'll do some digging. I'll find out what we got and then we'll push ahead and see what we can do. But I'll let you know.
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's all I got tonight, BJ. You got anything else, brother?
No, just give new writers a chance. You also got to think some of these great writers that we have now have other jobs. You know, you have one that was a former CIA agent. You've got one that's a lawyer still. I know one who works at a financial institution. So just because they have another job doesn't mean they can't write good comic books. So just give them a chance and shut the hell up.
Amen. Same way with the artists. A lot of artists have a lot of jobs too, you know, so I mean, support, especially support your local, support your everybody that's local around us, or writers and artists. They got to start somewhere, you know, which is why we always push Chad and Adam and you know the other guys around here because they're local to us, you know, or they're good friends of ours. So, hey, we're gonna push our friends. That's what we do, you know. But always support local if you can support local. Help them out. They're starting out early. Jim Lee didn't start out from nothing, guys. It took him a long time to get to where he's at today. So he's doing good because people like us are supporting him. So that's it, people, for this week. We'll be back next Thursday, about the same time, 6:30, 6:45. We'll be here, unless BJ tells me he's got a second ball game or something like that.
Bye,
Um,
week.
so, oh, even better, bye week. That's even better. uh, so thank you guys out there for coming by and spend some time with us on Syndi-Comics Weekly. Um, put some stuff out on the page. We'll take a look at it. If you see anything, all right, one sec, BJ.
Also, forget I will be missing one of them in the next couple weeks. Check your local theaters for the Transformers 1986 movie that will be in theaters sometime in the next couple weeks at your local theater. Go check it out again.
We both will be off that night. I'll tell you that. I'm a bot guy. I gotta go, man. I'm a bot guy.
Damn right.
I didn't get to see it in theaters when I was a kid. Uh,
Well,
so yeah,
yeah.
definitely that when it shows up here, I will be butt planted in a theater seat for that one. I don't care. I've not seen any movies hardly at all this year in the theater. It's all been like this on Blu-ray or on computer or whatnot or Fire Stick. So that one I will make sure I am there in the seat for because I'm a bot guy.
It's one night only, so check it out soon. We've only got the front row left in ours.
Yeah, I'll have to see like who's gonna actually have it because ours are pretty crappy about having some of those exclusive movies like that. So I'll have to see real fast who's got ours. Cool. So you guys take it easy and have fun out there in the internet world and go hit up some comics, go read some books, go get some toys, and most of all, enjoy what you want to enjoy. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. All right. You guys take it easy. Have a good night, everybody.
Later.